But we begin this afternoon with the sentencing for 3 men tied to the leader of the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you for joining us today at 5. I'm Glenda Lewis. Joseph Morrison, Pete Musico, and Paul Ballar all learned their fate today. My 5 p.m. partner Brian Abel has been following these new developments all day long, and he joins us now live from Detroit with how long the men will be behind bars. Brian.
Well, Glenda, I'm live here at Gleaners, where Governor Gretchen Whitmer just wrapped up an event not long ago. It comes the same day sentences for the 3 men were handed down by a Jackson County judge. Joseph Morrison is now set to serve at least 10 years in prison. His father-in-law, Pete Musico, sentenced to at least 12 years, and Paul Ballar ordered to serve at least 7 years. Now, this comes 2 weeks before the alleged leaders in the plot, Adam Fox and Barry Croft, are set to be sentenced. Both Fox and Croft are facing life in prison. The kidnapping plot highlighting Homeland Security officials' concerns about the rising threat of domestic terrorism. In a recorded message played in court, Governor Whitmer calling those men's actions, quote, a threat to democracy itself. Some remorse in a Michigan courtroom today.
Your Honor, I had a lapse in judgment.
3 men learning how long they would serve in prison after being convicted for their roles in a foiled plot to kidnap and kill Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
If I could, Your Honor, I'd take it all back.
The men found guilty of providing material support for a terrorist act they hoped would spark a civil war.
If I had known about the plot actually being a serious thing, I wouldn't have been.
All 3 were part of the paramilitary group called the Wolverine Watchmen. And though none had a direct role in the Whitmer conspiracy, prosecutors say they did weapons training alongside an alleged ringleader who's now facing federal charges. The plot was uncovered 2 years ago after undercover FBI agents and informants spent months infiltrating the group, making 14 arrests. Authorities accuse the group's ringleader of surveilling Whitmer's vacation home and say he allegedly planned to bomb a nearby bridge to hinder a police response. According to federal prosecutors, he planned to transport Whitmer to a secret site for a trial that would end in her execution. Officials say the murder plot was largely fueled by Michigan's COVID-19 restrictions. Whitmer was not harmed, but did in part blame former President Trump and others for spewing COVID conspiracy theories, which spread fear and anger. Musico and Morrison were also convicted of gun crimes and being members of a gang. The judge ordered them to serve consecutive terms for all 3 convictions, which will extend their minimum prison sentences. At this event today, reporters were actually blocked from asking the governor about the sentencing for these 3 men. She did record a victim impact statement that was played in court today.
Like all Michiganders, these 3 defendants are free to disagree, vote, or campaign against me. Instead, they took a different path. They supported a violent conspiracy and provided material support for terrorism.
Now, we also mentioned the ringleaders' upcoming sentencing. Adam Fox and Barry Croft will learn their fate December 27th and 28th. Glenda?
All right, Brian, thank you. And be sure to stay with 7 Action News on air and online as we continue to follow these criminal cases every step of the way. You can find all of our updates at WXYZ.com.